Hey, do you want help with boundaries? Great, because that's what I'm going to talk about. Today we're going to dive deep into the topic of setting boundaries with narcissistic people. Now, listen closely because this is actually going to apply to every area of your life. It's going to apply to your love life, your friendships, work relationships, and everything in between. Friends, family, you name it. And the key to boundaries is that we have to learn to stand up for ourselves and to let others know what to expect. We have to let them know how we want to be treated and what we won't put up with. And by the end of this video, we're going to be the boss of our own lives. And we're going to be like the CEO, the head honcho, the master boundary enforcer. That's going to be us. That's going to be our new label. Now, here's the secret about narcissists is they don't respect boundaries. They don't understand boundaries. And boundaries to them are just like speed bumps. It's going to be like these little annoyances. And you know what? That's actually a plus sign. That's actually a really good thing because with boundaries, we're going to annoy narcissists a little. So setting boundaries is all about like just drawing a line in the sand. You're just basically telling the world, it's like, hey, this is where I stand. This is where the line is, and I deserve respect. It's like having this emotional fortress that's just kind of built around you that's there to protect your happiness and your peace of mind. And when we set a boundary, what we're doing is we're telling narcissists what we will and what we won't accept and what we will and won't tolerate. It's a way for us to give narcissists a step-by-step guide on how to treat us. And here's the thing, if someone keeps crossing that boundary or disrespects us, there will be consequences because an undefended boundary isn't really a boundary at all, is it? So what we're going to learn today are some practical tips on how to use and set boundaries. And trust me, when you know how to do this, your life is going to get so much better. And if you haven't already, please like, share, follow, and to all my loyal subscribers who watch me regularly, thank you. Thank you so much. This means the world to me. And if you can, share your comments, share your likes. I'd love to read them. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're new to the Narcovery channel, welcome. This channel is all about leveling up our lives and overcoming narcissistic abuse. Now, one of the things that I talk about a lot on this channel is just self-love. And self-love, well, that's kind of like the secret sauce to just living your best life. And when we truly love ourselves, we become unstoppable, and no narcissist can take that away from us. We set standards on how we want to be treated and don't settle for less. It's like having a force field of self-respect around us. Because here's the thing, when you don't have love for yourself, we end up attaching to all the wrong people. And like these little sneaky manipulators, the narcissists, they are desperately trying to take us out, to bring us down, and to lower us to their level. But when we prioritize self-love, we set a clear message to the universe that we deserve nothing but respect. Now I'm going to talk about the power of self-talk and how it shapes our lives. And the reason I want to talk about that is because when we talk to ourselves in just a positive, self-loving, uplifting way, we actually become unstoppable. It's like having our own personal cheerleader inside our heads pushing us towards greatness and happiness. And it doesn't matter where we are in our life. The narcissists, they're actually the opposite of that. They want to keep us down. And what we want to do is learn to just shut down our own ears when a narcissist is attacking our self-esteem. Instead, what we end up doing is listening to our own self-positive talk. The self-talk that tells us that, those narcissists, they're phony people. They're not real. And what are they? They're like these little angry little child bullies. And sure, they have an adult body, but their brain still hasn't developed any much further than a child. And if a narcissist keeps pushing your boundaries, well, they just don't get to do that anymore. So many narcissism survivors out there is just saying like, Miles, how do I set boundaries? How do I make them stick? Well, here's my response to that. Setting a boundary is just like creating a fence around your heart and one around your mind. And what we want to do is end up showing those narcissistic people in our lives how we deserve to be treated. And in defending boundaries, what we're actually doing is standing up for ourselves. And boundaries, they're like that little secret sauce that you use to attract, healthy relationships and help keep healthy relationships strong. And it doesn't even matter how long you've known that person. You could have known them for years. Boundaries will help you improve every relationship. It's never too late to start laying down those boundaries, especially for a narcissist. Yes, they won't like them, not one bit. Which tells you something that it's working. Because the truth is, they're not supposed to like it. So who cares? So maybe they throw down a temper tantrum or 37 in a row until it finally sinks in for them. But at the 38th time, they'll see what you mean. They'll see that you mean business. Now, throughout my feed and throughout my channel, we always dive deep into the world of self-development. And this video is no different because the importance of improving yourself is incredibly important in narcissism recovery. Because it's all about taking care of ourselves, showing ourselves some self-love, and making those changes that will help level up our lives. And here's the secret. Narcissists, they don't actually want us to love ourselves. They want to be the only supply of love from anyone in the world, which is why they isolate, which is why they alienate. They want you to be dependent on one person for love and affection. But you're a person, which means you can give yourself love and affection. And the second we learn to apply self-love to ourselves, they lose their power. They lose their control over us. And it's not like we were born with like a boundary setting manual that we grew up with. Nobody taught us this stuff. So we end up developing these codependent coping strategies. We become people pleasers, always afraid to say no and avoid any kind of confrontation. And in fact, many of us have had narcissistic parents. And for a narcissistic parent to teach their child boundaries, well, that would take their power away. And I hope you understand that in some small way that those new coping strategies that we created to survive our childhoods have made us into people pleasers to make our parents happy. And then as we grow up, as we get older, we become people pleasers to everyone, trying to make everyone happy. Everyone except for us. And we end up being the only ones that are unhappy here. But guess what? Today we're going to learn how to set boundaries like a pro. And by the end of this video, every narcissist that's in your life is just going to be sitting there scratching their heads and they're just going to be wondering, what happened? I don't understand. They don't actually know what hit them. And when it comes to boundaries, those narcissistic people in our lives, they just never got the memo. Never got the memo that boundaries actually exist, that boundaries are real. And narcissists, they're a lot like these little, boundary breaking ninjas that are just constantly finding ways to slip through the cracks and never respect anyone else's opinion but their own. But here's the deal. You have to set boundaries with a narcissist. It's an absolute must and it's a non-negotiable. And you're also going to want to know when those narcissists have crossed the line in the first place. And in my own story, it's just like quite often I didn't realize it was happening until it was too late. It was just like, oops, did I just miss something? And me personally, I let narcissistic people say and do all sorts of unacceptable stuff. And deep down, I knew it wasn't right. But I was clueless on how to handle the situation. I found myself, making excuses for them, thinking that we're all human and stuff. And I make mistakes. So maybe they just made a mistake. Maybe this was just a one-time thing. And then when those one-time things turn into 2 million time things, well, there's a pattern there. And it takes a while, but eventually I did see the pattern. And here's a truth bomb for you. Some people are just not meant to be in your life. And you know what? That's okay. And narcissists, those are people that maybe, just aren't meant to be in your life, especially if they don't respect your boundaries. And I know it's tough being a boundary setter. And the thought of just cutting a narcissist out may seem harsh, but sometimes it's necessary for your own well-being. It's like decluttering your house and getting rid of all those socks, the ones with the holes in them. And yes, I am calling narcissists emotional clutter. Because they are. And they are like those old socks with the holes in them. And you deserve being with somebody who's like not walking around with this hole in their heart, their hole in their souls. You don't keep socks with holes in them, no. So it's time to make room for those people who lift us up. So let's talk about growing your vision and trash removal. Now, I used to have this thought in my head that if someone did something wrong to me, I'd just kind of offer them forgiveness and just dance away with the grace of Grace Kelly and just kind of keep moving on with my life. And don't get me wrong, forgiveness is really important. But here's a harsh reality. If a narcissist doesn't fit the puzzle of your life, it's time to accept that. And when you clear out the narcissistic trash in your life, you actually end up creating space for a peaceful, happier life. And you can attract all kinds of just better quality people in your life. So what's the first step in boundary setting? You have to know when a boundary has been violated. And it's a lot like, trying to detect a narcissistic little rodent who just keeps sneaking into your cookie jar. You have to protect your cookies. Those are your cookies. And only you get to eat them. They're your emotions. They're your soul. And it doesn't matter how much a narcissist will beg for narcissistic supply. They don't get to eat your emotional energy cookies. Those are yours, not theirs. They're yours. And when you set a boundary, what you're doing is letting the world know that you have relationship standards. So you can picture it as your emotional well-being is, just that strong fortress. And this is where you stand for yourself and you say, you know what, I deserve respect. And that's where you start to ask yourself, what does respect actually look like? And this is where you can get really specific. And then anytime a narcissist tries to cross the line, when they violate your boundary or standard, it's time to sound the alarm. Time to fire a warning shot. And if they ignore the warning shot, then fire another one. If they ignore that, then that narcissist needs to get the hell out of your life. Bye-bye. My butt needs scratching, and it's a far more important use of my time than trying to talk or deal with you. Go away. So here's a secret from my own life, and that's I seem to have had just a blind spot to narcissists and narcissism in general. And for most of my life, I didn't actually know what a narcissist was, much less how to protect myself from them. And trying to navigate a relationship with a narcissist is just kind of like, wandering through a foggy forest without a compass. Just find yourself bouncing off of trees and making mistakes and not even knowing where you are. Now, even with narcissists, there was always a few non-negotiables, like, don't mess with my car, don't even think about it. I set up the car the way I want it. You don't get to change anything in there. That's my car, that's mine. And it was great that I was able to set a boundary on that one thing. But what I wasn't was crystal clear on what I expected from narcissists on all other aspects of my life. I never took a moment to say, hey Miles, do you know why all these narcissists seem to be hanging around you? What is it about you that they seem to like? Nope. I would just basically let any single narcissist, stroll in and out of my life. Just like a parade of clowns. And you know what? Sometimes I kept those narcissists in my life for far too long, sometimes years and years and decades. I just kept feeding them supply, and they just kept taking it, without ever checking to see if these narcissists were actually good for me. Does that sound familiar? Because I got a feeling that we all do it. We stick with a relationship with a narcissist long after they've overstayed their welcome. Like those, freeloading friends that always seem to show up to your uninvited family functions just for the booze and the free food. They don't even know anyone. But fear not, because we're going to start learning some boundary building. It's time to enforce those boundaries, even in the face of narcissism. All right, we're going to be diving deep into boundary building like synchronized swimmers in an emotional swimming pool. First up, know your standards in all relationships. That's like having a rule book right there in front of you that lists out exactly how people should treat you. It's like having a clear map, so whenever you're lost in, this funhouse narcissistic mirror maze that you get yourself in, that you have a clear map out. Now, when a narcissist crosses that line, oh boy, does that ever feel like your body is just going to be like this volcano just ready to erupt? It's going to be like anger and frustration and then maybe even sadness, especially when they all just come knocking on your emotional door all at once. Narcissists love breaking boundaries. It's like, narcissistic supply that's served up with whipped cream and then a cherry on top. But here's where self-love becomes your secret weapon. It's just this shield of calmness. You don't have to react like just a wild bull that sees red. No, you can come at it from a place of peace. You can come at it from a place of calm. And that lets a narcissist know what is acceptable and what absolutely is not acceptable. Do you want to know what's kryptonite to a narcissist? Calm. Yeah, calm. When you're calm, they lose all their power. And when they're temper tantruming, hijinks doesn't get a response, they're just completely dumbfounded. And they just don't get it. But these tantrums, they always work before. What the hell? Why is it working now? And then out comes the tears when it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And look what you did to me. That's when, they call you names and just throw their temper tantrums. And maybe they just leave. That is a typical narcissistic response to just calm 101. If this starts to happen more and more in your life, then congratulations. You're starting to build great boundaries. So whatever it is that you're doing, just keep doing that. That's working. Keep doing that. So the next time, a narcissist tries to trample over your boundaries, just remember, just channel your calm into this super master state. It's almost like, just sunshine and a cool breeze has enough power to just blow a hurricane completely away. So the next thing I'm going to say is just really important, and it's going to be a bit of a game changer. Now here's a mistake that I used to make a lot. I used to just kind of, charge into these narcissistic battles with my ego leading the way. You hurt me! How dare you! Now instead, I approach everything with just calmness and self-love. And that realization was just like quite the breakthrough. I learned the power of staying cool, staying calm, of just staying collected. So instead of just reacting to every single little narcissistic tactic that rubbed me the wrong way, I just shifted gears. I stepped into a place of just self-love. It was just like this peaceful oasis, just hidden deep into this desert. And from that place, that calm place, I was able to address those boundary-testing narcissists, just like a kindergarten cop, just gray rocking them with, all smiles and calm. Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that must be really upsetting. No more knee-jerk reactions trying to get the narcissist to understand something they just can't and never will understand. I put my foot down firmly but with grace. You can actually go like right up to a narcissist and just say, excuse me, yeah, that right there, what you did, no, that's not acceptable. Yeah, I'm not going to stand for it. Bad boy box for you. And then, bam. And that's basically the power of self-love. So the next time that you're in the face of like just a boundary breach with a narcissist, channel that inner calmness. Choose some self-love as your shield and just speak with confidence. You might be wondering, hey, but that's kind of like trying to tame a wild stallion with just like a smile and gentle touch. Yeah, no, that's exactly what you do. So when you truly like love yourself and prioritize your own well-being, something magical happens. You end up, entering this vault of calmness because you know that deep down that you're worth it. So when it comes time to express yourself, you do it with like finesse, without a hint of anger or attitude, but instead with grace and style and this just unshakable presence. It's like you become this smooth operator and you deliver all your thoughts and all your feelings with precision and clarity, without repetition. Sometimes all you need to do is say things once. No need for explosive outbursts or harsh tones or name calling. No. You're way too self-loving for that. Instead, you choose your words far more carefully, like a master painter who just kind of chooses a perfect canvas. You let narcissists know exactly what's on your mind, but you do it with a cool and collected demeanor. It's like sending your message to a narcissist on just a cool, gentle breeze. And it travels through the air and into the narcissist's ears. You're assertive, but composed. And when you speak from this place of self-love, your words, they hold this undeniable power. And you know what? It's okay. A narcissist, they may choose not to listen. That's fine. How important is it actually to try to get through to someone who doesn't hear you? If you're not important enough for them to listen and understand, it's also not important enough to them to even be in your presence, is it? So with a narcissist, what does that mean? You know, they're poor them. You know, you're cutting off their supply. Oops. Sorry, not sorry, too bad, very sad. I'm gonna move on now. So remember, when it's time to express yourself, tap into that self-loving calmness and leave the attitude and the anger at the door. Just step into your power. You're gonna be like a ninja of communication, just striking with grace and precision. And if it's not getting through, it's okay. Just reach into your pocket, throw a smoke bomb, poof, and then just kind of disappear when no one's looking. And just walk away. Just leave the narcissist over there. Sorry, no narcissistic zoo for you. It's time to take control of our emotions and just rise above all that negativity. We're not going to stoop down to the narcissistic level. No, we're going to stay right here in our own positive energy. And from this empowered state, we're going to speak our minds with clarity and conviction. When you speak your truth from like a matter-of-fact tone, your words, they just kind of flow through you from a place of like confidence and strong self-esteem. It's like dropping truth bombs, but wrapping them in a blanket of self-love that no narcissistic power of influence or guilt or shame can ever deny the impact or the power of your messages. So here's the beautiful thing, Narcovery survivors. When you communicate from this powerful state, narcissistic arguments start to just vanish like in thin air. And what ends up happening is you're no longer fueling the narcissistic fire. No. Instead, what you're doing is you're creating this calm awareness in the midst of all this narcissistic chaos. Now, narcissists have this tendency not to be able to hear. It's like they go deaf when someone is talking to them in a state of just cool, collected self-respect. Because, like, if you think about it, it's just all that anger that they've gotten. They're like these crackheads that just want another hit. And if you don't give them that anger right back, then what are they gonna do? They're gonna go through withdrawal, man. I'm going through withdrawal. But that's okay. You go through withdrawal over there. It's their withdrawal. It has nothing to do with you. Their addiction to chaos and drama is their addiction to chaos and drama. If you feed it, well, guess what? They're going to come back for more. So what I want to do is just keep it a little real. And this is a bit of a sad reality because narcissists aren't going to respond positively to boundaries or this new calm demeanor. And that's okay. Let them. Their tantrums and poking at your biggest triggers is just a sign that you're doing something right, that it's working. So whatever it is that you're doing, don't stop. Keep doing that. Because at the end of the day, we're not seeking narcissist approval or their validation anymore. No, their opinions actually don't matter. They just don't. Nothing that they say to provoke our triggers, the ones that are in with us, none of that matters. Because at the end of the day, they don't matter. And what does it matter what someone who doesn't matter thinks? It doesn't. We're speaking our truth because our truth is important to us. And if a narcissist chooses not to respect our boundaries, well, that's on them. We, the survivors of narcissism, no, we're going to hold our ground. And we're going to firmly and confidently stay here, hold our ground right here. And they can do their schoolyard nonsense over there where no one's watching and no one cares. What we're going to do is we're going to continue on our own personal journey of just self-discovery, of empowerment, of positive communications with ourselves and everyone. And what we're going to do is we're going to stay in our calm, confident, self-loving state and let our words and our actions do the talking. Now, at this point in the video, we're kind of reaching this crucial point of just this boundary setting journey. So let's dive deep into the next phase. We're going to dive into a situation that can be a little bit tricky sometimes. Now, picture this, and maybe this is true for you. It was true for me. You've surrounded yourself with these narcissistic people for quite some time. This isn't new. They've been here for a while. And what they've done is developed a relationship with an older version of you, the one without clearly defined boundaries or standards. And guess what? You've undergone a personal, powerful transformation. And it's going to take some time for them to get used to that. You've stepped into your power. You've embraced self-love. You've asserted yourself, and you've established those strong boundaries. You're not attacking anyone anymore, and you're not trying to solve all problems through anger. No. You're radiating confidence and taking care of yourself like a boss, like a champ. And here's the thing, it's going to catch them off guard. They're used to that old version of you, and then suddenly this new improved individual just kind of pops up out of nowhere with a whole new set of standards and expectation. Well, those narcissists is going to take some time to adjust to this new upgraded you. And it's kind of like, when you upgrade your phone and you get the latest model, and some of those like really old features and those old apps, they just don't seem to work properly anymore. With the new phone, with without the old apps is actually more efficient. You can get more done with it. This update, this upgrading you, is going to take some time for people to get used to. And other people in your life, not just the narcissist, they may need some time to adapt to this new version of you, which means, we're evolving. And if they have a trouble with that's too bad. We're human. Evolution says as a species, we evolve. We evolve, we get better, we improve. That's science. It's pure science, and we can't argue with science. Those lab coat people, they know stuff. And as we recover from narcissism, we're also going to evolve. Now, as you start living your life with these newfound boundaries, a couple things are going to happen. Some people that may not be able to keep up with your growth, they may decide to just step out of the equation. And you know what? That's okay. Sometimes it's necessary to let go of relationships that no longer serve us. But here's the exciting part. Those who value and respect you will rise to the occasion. They'll embrace this new you and embrace those incredible strides that you've been making and encourage you and support you. They'll support you in your journey and stand by your side as you continue to grow and evolve. So don't be discouraged by a few people that kind of drift away. It means you're doing something right. And what you're starting to do in your life is just start to weed out those low-level narcissists that have just kind of found their way into your space. They don't want to accept you for who you are. And that's fine. If you don't want to accept me for who I am, the door is right there. Use it. Turn, pull, go. And what that tells you is that you're focusing on the right things. You're starting to focus only on the things that uplift you, that give you energy, that encourage you. This is your chance to replace those people, to surround yourself with individuals who appreciate the changes that you're making and just celebrate your journey of self-improvement. So just be aware when you start enforcing and setting boundaries with people that are already in your life, there may be a little bit of potential turbulence that kind of comes with that. So just brace yourself for that, Seatbelts on, tray table in their full upright position. Should the cabin lose oxygen, an oxygen mask will fall from the ceiling, and be sure to grab the mask and use it on yourself before trying to help anyone else. That's the lesson in that. And here's the deal, certain individuals in your life, like, that narcissistic aunt or that manipulative friend, they're going to put up a fight. And it might be a big fight. They work so hard to control you, and now you're taking your control back. Of course they're hurt. Of course they're upset with you. They may be thinking, oh my God, you're so selfish. How dare you put yourself first? And there's going to be some potentially serious backlash coming. Why? Well, it's because there's lots of boundary pushers out there. Narcissists, they come in all forms. And once you start to see one, you start to see that there's been like a whole slew of them around you the entire time, just hoping that you wouldn't notice. It's kind of like walking into a dark room and turning the lights on, and all of a sudden, all the cockroaches just scatter. So let them scatter. Go, scatter. These people thrive on testing your limits to see how far they can stretch your boundaries. But fear not, that's good news. Because what that says is that you've evolved, that you've grown, that you're no longer that person that they once knew, that you've leveled up your experience, you've leveled up your being, and you have become a boundary-setting champion. And guess what? That's what threw them off balance. So gain your balance back or fall off the beam. I got places to go, I got things to do. This is where you can imagine yourself like an almighty fortress, just standing tall and just unyielding. And your fortress is protected by a moat. There's a drawbridge, and you get to decide who can come in and out. And inside the walls of your fortress, this is where people feel safe and protected. They're free to go about their business. And as marauders kind of come, they just quickly give up because they're looking for somebody with weak boundaries. They don't want to put up a fight. So let them give up. Let them go away. And when you're standing in your true self, and you're standing in pride and self-confidence, most narcissists will just look at you as that strong, enforced fortress and just walk away on their own. They'll just kind of see you from a distance in your fortress and just say, oh wait, that fortress, that can't be breached. I'm just gonna go to the next village, and they're just gonna go. So be prepared for some resistance when you first start enforcing boundaries. These people, they're used to a certain version of you, and you've undergone like an epic transformation. But remember, you're standing strong on your newfound self-love and your newfound assertiveness. And you're not going to back down. And when these narcissists come in and try to test your boundaries, this is where you can just practice staying firm and unwavering and let them know that the old ways just don't fly anymore. That old behavior, those old tactics, I know. And here's another amazing thing about when you first start setting boundaries, that not everyone in your life is going to give you a hard time. Some may actually surprise you and embrace the changes that you're making. They'll understand and respect your need for boundaries, for your need to protect yourself, for your need for self-love, for your need for self-expression. And they're more than happy to adapt these boundaries and happy to encourage this new, improved version of yourself. Keep setting those boundaries and let those boundary pushers know that you mean business. It's time that you hold your ground. Get ready to channel your inner strength and to brace yourself for some serious improvements in your life. First up, we've got stand your ground. Yeah, that's right, stand your ground. But this might actually be a really tough concept for some people to grasp. at first, especially if they've never set boundaries before. Maybe you're the kind of person like me who just kind of shied away from all kinds of confrontation. Or perhaps you've been, more of a people pleaser. But guess what? It's time to break free from those limiting beliefs and unleash your inner strength. Standing your ground means staying firm and resolute to your boundaries. It's like planting your feet in the ground and just refusing to be swayed by the wind. You're taking a stand for your well-being, your happiness, and your self-respect. And let me tell you, my friends, that's not a small feat. That's big. That's huge. So it's okay. Expect it. There will be doubters. There will be haters. And there will be naysayers. Do people actually even say the word nay still? So to the naysayers, it's just like, look, they have one job. They have one job. It's in their title. Naysayers. They say nay. So that's exactly what they're going to do. They're boundary bashers. And before, you didn't know what their title was. But now you know. So narcissists, they may try to just kind of throw shade on you. They might try to just call you selfish or try to find other ways to manipulate you. Just hold up. Their words and actions have actually nothing to do with you. No, nothing. Not even a little bit. Not even a tiny bit. The narcissist is all about one thing, the narcissistic game plan. They're all about control through manipulative tactics. And all of these things, they're just desperate attempts to knock you off your game. They're threatened by this newfound, assertiveness and strength that you're showing. So yeah, it could feel like you're like a tightrope walker, at a circus, performing all these daring feats, despite all of these distractions that are around you. And as others just start shouting out negative comments to throw you off, you just remain focused, walking on that tightrope with unwavering determination, proving that, their attempts to make you stumble are going to fail. You've got your big long stick, and at the end of that stick is a boundary, and those boundaries are going to keep you balanced. So don't let any of those narcissistic tactics sway you, just none of them. Just keep your eyes on the prize. It's your well-being, it's your happiness, so just stand proud. Let those narcissistic attempts to derail you just wash off of you, just like crashing waves on a shore. They're going to come in, they're going to go out, they're going to come in, they're going to go out. No wave lasts forever. Remember, you're a force to be reckoned with, and no one can dim your shine. Now, we're going to dive deep into the world of boundary enforcement. This is where we stand tall, where we stand proud, where we stand strong, and unapologetically be the best versions of ourselves. And there's going to be two really crucial things that you're going to need to remember during this journey. So get ready to just brush off all the haters and embrace your inner strength. First off, we're going to talk about those narcissists who just aren't keen on you setting boundaries for yourself. No, they don't want you, cramping their style or holding them accountable. These narcissists, we'll call them boundary busters. They don't want to take responsibility for their actions. And guess what? They're not going to be fond of this new improved you, which means awesome. It doesn't matter what they think because, they don't matter. Only you matter when it comes to boundaries, setting them and enforcing them. But here's the deal. This new version of you, this empowered boundary setting you, is here to stay. And those narcissists can throw their little fits and tantrums if they want. Sure, yeah, there was a time when you used to let them walk all over you. That was before. Now you don't. And yeah, they're going to react. They're going to be, look at me. Now I'm a victim. Look how mean you are. It's freaking meaningless. They're going to play the victim against your boundaries. It'll happen. Oh, why? But it'll happen. Because look at you. You're going to be like this just shooting star, just blazing across the sky and just illuminating the path for others to follow. Narcissists, yes, they will resist. Yes, they will push back. But this is your chance to, practice staying firm, to just confirm and commit to your resolve. Now let's do the second thing. Let's tackle that little sneaky tactic that narcissists use, and that's guilt. Oh yeah, they're going to try to make you feel guilty for saying no, for setting boundaries, for standing up for yourself. They might label you as, you're cranky now, you're assertive. Or they might call you selfish and uncaring, or you're just so negative all the time. But listen up, their opinions, their judgment that they have has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Zilch, zero, nada. It has all to do with them and their ego. Their false belief that, they're better than you and, everyone else. They're not. So when you say no or establish a boundary against a narcissist, you're simply asserting your self-worth and showing self-love. You're drawing a line in the sand. If they don't like it, great! I'm so glad that the narcissist doesn't like it. Yay! That's something to celebrate, not feel guilty about. I've stood up to a narcissist and I've made them unhappy. How do you know you stood up to a narcissist? They're unhappy. Good. So sad for you. Not sad at all, actually. Yeah, let them be angry and uncomfortable. You just ask them, do you want to go to your mommy? Do you want her to give you a big hug and tell them what a big strong boy or girl that you are? That those mean people in the world that are set boundaries, there's something wrong with them. Is that what your mommy's going to tell them? Maybe that is what their mom's been telling them. We don't actually know. Doesn't matter. Let them do that. Let them go play their little false victim story and peddle it to whoever wants to listen or whoever's buying it. It really, like, whatever. And all their like silly little attempts to guilt trip you, that's just to throw you off your game. They're just really uncomfortable with this newfound strength. And that discomfort that they're feeling with your newfound strength, well, that's their problem, not yours. Their problem over there, not yours, over here. Theirs is over there, yours is over here. You're not here to, people please any narcissist or cater any narcissistic whims anymore. You're here to prioritize your own well-being and your own happiness. And remember, when you enforce boundaries and say no to a narcissist, it's a testament to your own self-love and your own self-respect. It has nothing to do with, their own, self-hatred or their own disrespect for you, for having the audacity to set a boundary against them. Whoa! Let their guilt trips, just bounce off of you harmlessly, like water on a raincoat. Just keep shining your light and being that boundary-setting rock star that you were born to be. And narcissists, they can be their little whiny selves all that they want. All right, so let's get ready to arm ourselves up and unleash unwavering confidence. And I ask, if you haven't already, please, like, share, send a comment, follow. All of these are really important. And it's a small thing to do, but it actually really helps me get my message across to more and more people. So listen up. We're about to tackle the crucial aspect of this journey. So brace yourself, because we're going to dive into the realm of testing and temptation. Yeah, that's right. Some of those narcissistic people out there, they're just itching to put your newfound strength to the test. And here's the key. Here's an insight. The tests of your boundaries has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with a narcissist, not wanting to lose control over you. That's cool. So if this happens, good. It's working. You've set a boundary. Let's throw a boundary setting party. I'm in a boundary party. You're in a boundary party. We're all in a boundary party. You see, when a narcissist tries to make you feel guilty for setting a boundary, questioning your motives, what they're trying to do is just try to rain on your parade. And sure, they might call you cocky, they might call you conceited, but it's all just kind of smoke and mirrors. It's just a narcissist's way of simply rattling your cage, testing that little confidence you've resolved to see how real it is, and to make you doubt yourself. But guess what? Narcissistic tactics have nothing to do with the incredible person that you're becoming. They're narcissistic tactics. So let's just get one thing straight. Narcissists have their doubts. Their boundary testing nature, their attempts to guilt trip you, none of it is about you. It's all about the narcissist. It's always been about the narcissist. They're the one that are feeling uncomfortable because they can't control or manipulate you anymore. It's in the narcissist's nature to test you, hoping to find a crack in your armor, and if they find one, cool, thank you, I'm going to fix that. And then you do. You fix it. And then what? You become unbreakable. You become unshakable. So when those doubts and those guilt trips come your way, just remember this has nothing to do with you. It's not about you. It's about the narcissist's little insecurities and their own need for control that they're losing by you setting boundaries. They just want to drag you down to their level just to keep them company. Because narcissists are afraid of anyone that's more powerful than them. Anyone who has boundary setting forces that are enforced and reinforced. And this new you that you're becoming, well, yeah, it's going to be a threat to them. Sucks. Do you care? So, we don't have to fall for it. We're starting to rise above their narcissistic little mind games. This is our chance to, just be true to ourselves, to keep standing strong, to grow our self-love, to grow our self-respect. All those narcissist attempts to, to question you, to make you feel guilty, is just kind of like, dust on a force field at this point. You're no longer here to caretake, the narcissist and their doubts and their whims, or satisfy their narcissistic expectations. You're here to honor yourself and to live your best life. So let's keep pushing forward on this boundary setting journey, and let's just leave doubt and, their guilt just in the dust. All right, my fellow Narcovery boundary setters, it's time to embrace a liberating truth that'll set you free. Get ready to release the weight of a narcissist's, useless and meaningless opinions and expectations. Because here's the secret, a narcissist's life is self-centered, and that's just something that they bestowed upon themselves. They've just woken up one day and decided their place is in the center of the universe, and all others around them must bow to their whims. So ask yourself, do you have to bow? Do you really? All that narcissistic negativity and doubt they've been throwing your way has everything to do with the incredible person that you're becoming. And of course they hate it. Of course they do. It's to be expected. How could they not hate it? They want their narcissistic supply. They want their narcissistic supply. Narcissistic supply is like their candy, and they're in the candy aisle, and they want candy, 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 gimme, 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 gimme. No. I'm not giving you a narcissistic supply. and I'm not giving you your candy. Now, in the past, I can admit that, I did carry the burden of everyone else's words and beliefs just on my own shoulders. I take everything that was said to heart. Any kind of judgment, any kind of beliefs. I felt like I had to please everyone, and I believed all the things that other people were saying about me. Once I started loving myself and standing firm with my boundaries, something amazing happened. I realized that any person, any narcissist who couldn't rise to the occasion, who can't respect my boundaries or honor my feelings or my thoughts, well, that's actually on them. So, F them. And when you start setting boundaries and, protecting your own self-love and your own self-esteem, a lot of those narcissists just, they don't want to be around you anymore. And you know what? That's absolutely awesome. Yavin. Woohoo! Ba-da-ba-ba-ba! Loving it. Boundaries are a natural filtering process against narcissism. And as you let go of those who just can't appreciate this new you, you're actually going to create space in your life for just incredible souls to come in who just kind of live on the same wavelength as you, that have the same priorities as you. So it's win-win, win-win. So embrace this journey that you're on. You're shedding old baggage and you're inviting new energy into your world. And now everyone that's still in your circle, well, this is now a VIP club. And everyone who's there, who's in that VIP circle, understands and respects the boundaries that you've set. Now let me tell you, that feeling is absolutely amazing. It's a narcissistic force field that only lets in good people, which is perfect. I love that. So keep being unapologetic about enforcing your boundaries. And when you face narcissism in whatever form it is, keep enforcing those boundaries with, just love and confidence. And as you do, watch the universe respond. Those narcissists who just want to disrespect you and keep you down, they'll just kind of fade away. And that'll just make way for extraordinary people who are just ready to support and cherish this new version of you. Allow them into your life. All right, so get ready to celebrate your growth, to embrace, your authentic self, and to continue thriving in a world where boundaries reign supreme. Because that's the world on the other side of recovery from narcissism. And you can almost think of it as it's because those narcissists came into your lives that you learned how strong you need to be to set boundaries. And you get to decide now who to keep close and who stays away at a safe distance. And in my opinion, it's just my opinion, the safest distance to a narcissist for me is on Pluto. Yeah, Pluto is the safest place for narcissists. That's a safe distance. All right, I hope this journey has empowered you and given you some tools to navigate through narcissistic waters. If you found value in this video, please send me some love, give me some thumbs up. Please like and share and comment below on what you got out of this, what you've learned. I'd love to hear. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss any of my future videos. And remember, you're not alone on this path of self-discovery and boundary setting. Together, we're creating a community of resilience and empowerment. So stay tuned for more videos are coming where I'm going to dive deep into topics that'll just help you live your best life. And until then, keep shining, enforcing those boundaries, embracing the incredible person that you are and that you're becoming. My name is Miles from Narcovery.com. To book a session with me, just go to Narcovery.com. All right, bye.